This is a big one. Confession. I have to be honest. I was pretty stinking scared the first time I went to confession. I had mortal sins on my soul. Many, many sins, totaling up to 26 years. So when I said that I really wasn't catechized and I wasn't practicing my religion, I meant it. I hadn't been to confession for 26 years. I didn't really know what the Mass was, didn't think about the Eucharist, didn't even really know what that was, certainly not the body, blood, soul, and divinity of our Lord. So for me, confession was something that was pretty scary and something that I didn't even know how to do. We went through this line thing when I was in CCD, so I didn't even know where the confessionals were, what they look like, what the process was. So it's really funny. Again, you can relive it in my book when you have the chance to read it. I'm also doing an audiobook, so if you want me to tell the story to you, pretty hysterical. But bottom line is this. I came out of there floating. The relief that even if I just believed my faith by that smidge, that faith of a mustard seed, I'm going to confession. Do I really want to toy with spending the rest of eternity in hell because I had mortal sins on my soul? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm gonna go ahead and go, right? I mean, why not? And now that 5 years later, I am a pretty devout Catholic. I love confession. You should read the Examination of Conscience. Go to my website. I think I'm going to put links on the top and the bottom here for you so that you can check out what you're supposed to do beforehand and also how you go through your penance process and what you're supposed to do afterwards. Because my first time, I didn't know. I wung it pretty much, but I'm really glad I went. So anyway, bottom line, once I started understanding the Catholic faith and started practicing and understanding how important it was to be in a state of grace, to accept the Eucharist, the body and blood, every time I would go to Mass, which recently has been daily, I need to make sure that I'm in a state of grace. So I need to go to confession and confess all my sins. I don't have the mortal sins on my soul, but I have a lot of things that I'm not doing that I should be doing, meaning trusting in God 100%, worrying, having some anxiety. So I give it up and I give up my suffering to Him. It's been a long way for me to get there. Trust me, 5 years ago I would have thought, what in the heck is that chick talking about? I have no idea what's going on. So that's what I'm here, is to kind of help bridge the gap at the end of the day. But when you do go through the process of confession, the experience of a fresh, clean slate, renewed, you just walk out of there, you're clean. You can die, get hit by a car, sorry, but you get hit by that proverbial bus, coming right out of the church, and you are, on your way to heaven. I mean, you haven't even had a chance to think about a sin yet walking out of that church. Hopefully you've done your penance right before you walk out of that church too. I always like to do that. But what I think is funny is that people that haven't been to confession in a long time think it's like this really bad sin and that people are going to look at them funny when they're in line and what did he or she do, and not even close. I mean, I'm in line all the time. There are people that are practicing Catholics that go to confession all the time. It's part of the faith. So we expect that you should go, and you should not feel uncomfortable going. And quite frankly, if you don't know how to do it, just go on in and say, hey, Father, it's been, 26 years since I've been in my last confession. I don't even know what the heck I'm doing, but I'm here. Can you help me? And He'll walk you through it. It's amazing. So my point here, looking at you through this camera lens, is to say, why not go do it? Especially if you have mortal sins. Go Google mortal sins. I'll have that also up on the confession list. And the examination of conscience and things that you're supposed to think about before you go in there, so that it's a thorough one. But know that you should at least be going once a year, once a month at least. It's at least like, cleaning your car out. As Matthew Kelly goes through this story, it's a funny one. I'll tell you about that one later. But please do not be afraid, and know that the feeling that you come out with on the other side is indescribable. and is something that I would strongly recommend to anybody. Even if you don't have mortal sins on your soul, read through the examination of conscience, go to confession, and see how the grace of God will start to shower down on you. I just can't say it in any other way. But that's the first start, because then you can receive the Lord in Mass. So that's your first step. Go to confession. Send me an email. Get in the community. Get some, additional support. Again, like I said, I went after 26 years. Send me a note. You want some help? You want me to talk to you? I'll certainly have a conversation with you. Anything to get you back to that sacrament, because it's phenomenal when you go. Okay, this was a little longer than just a quick vlog, but it's that important. So I wanted to spend that extra time. Just go. You will not regret it. It's way better than that exercise that you didn't want to do, that when you did it, you felt great that, oh, I'm so happy that I did it. Take that and multiply it by like a gazillion, that feeling of a clean, fresh soul. Wow. Phenomenal, right? Go do it. Let me know how it goes. God bless.